Hey everyone, Carl here with Literate Lessons, bringing you another deep dive. I know I am early. Normally we do these on Friday, but this is important for the fact that Series 13 rules were just released overnight going into Monday morning. If you were following on Twitter, I think I posted them on the Twitter there super duper early, as soon as I downloaded them. And the big thing that Series 13 has introduced is not only do we just get to play with any number of special Pokemon that we want, we also get access to the Mythicals, Pokemon that we normally don't get access to in VGC. And so today we're going to look at what I think are probably some of the more notable Mythicals and things that we need to keep in mind when we're now team building with this stuff. There's a lot of very strong things going on across the board here in terms of just power level and move coverage and things like that. And so we're going to try and hit as many of them as we can before we call it a day here. If you like what you see, make sure to do all that fun YouTube stuff for us. Like, comment, subscribe. It helps push the algorithm so other people can find this. I have a feeling everyone is going to be looking for Series 13 stuff because nobody knows what to do. This is a lot of unexplored territory, and so I would like to know, what's your favorite mythical Pokemon? My current favorite, just design-wise, is Volcanion. I started back up playing Pokemon in Generation 6, and I remember the Volcanion movie coming out and all that, and I really wanted to get this Pokemon, so much so that I had a buddy send me a code from Japan just so I could get this for my game. I'm super pleased with it, and I'm excited to try and play with it maybe for some future events. I figured we'd start at the bottom and kind of work our way up here. Some things that I noticed that could be powerful but aren't quite great on their own, and we'll move into some more of the heavy hitters as we get later in the episode here. But let's start with Marshadow and Zeraora. They both kind of fit the same role as fast physical attackers, with decent coverage and cool move pools. The one big thing that both of these Pokemon get is coaching. This is a move that most players probably aren't too familiar seeing, since it's kind of hard to play with unless you're playing with like Zamazenta or maybe like a Mineshaw or like maybe a Hitmontop. But having access to coaching on something that's above base 100 is really, really good. In terms of trying to like boost a Melmetal, boost a Victini, boost a Zacian, things like that, you can play Scarf Marshadow or Scarf Zeraora, and it's not super hard to outspeed these things. And then you also get to play bulk on top of that, so you're harder to take out. So you just get to keep adding coaching boosts over and over and over. The big thing that Marshadow gets is the signature move Spectral Thief. This will steal the target's boosts before dealing any kind of damage, and so your base 125 attack, you can Spectral Thief a Zacian and deal a really strong stab 90 base ghost damage move into a neutral hit into a Zacian. Is that a lot of damage? Probably. Is it enough to KO it? Probably not. However, there is still some cool things that Marshadow gets in the form of like Will-O-Wisp, Feint. I know you can do like weird sets with counter. That's a thing. You have access to foul play if you really want to go like really lean into the coaching Will-O-Wisp support role and be kind of bulky, because your defenses aren't terrible at base 90 HP, base 90 special defense, and base 80 defense. That is not terrible for a fighting and ghost type Pokemon. Zeraora, on the other hand, is a little bit more narrow, I would call it. What it does, it excels at in terms of being a very good answer for teams that struggle against electric types. Having that ability Volt Absorb means that your opponent has to always respect a Zeraora pivoting in to take whatever Max Lightning, Thunderbolt, whatever. And the fact that you are base 143 speed means that you technically outspeed Dragapult when you are max speed. You will also outspeed most Zacians that are not max speed when you go to, at minimum, timid plus like 201. Like, we get into this spot right here. Being able to just naturally outspeed Zacian, because Zacian has to rely on bulk so much to survive hits now, means that you can get a coaching off, you can get an Electroweb off, you can get a Plasma Fists, a Blaze Kick. Your coverage on Zeraora is really, really good. You also get access to Fake Out, which is, I think this is the only, mythical that gets Fake Out. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure this is the only one that gets Fake Out. And we'll talk about some other unique stuff down the line. But I'm pretty sure Zeraora is the only mythical that gets Fake Out. I'd have to double check, but I'm 95% certain this is the case. Anywho, having access to Fake Out on something that's just like, sorry, you're not going to hit me with electric type moves is really, really cool. Especially in this format where, like, you're going to be playing Incineroar probably, and this thing will definitely move before Incineroar does. Like, you don't even have to put any speed investment into it to guarantee that. So, being able to outspeed Incineroar with Fake Out is really, really cool. You can play Special Zeraora. There's only a 10-point difference between attack and special attack. And on Pokemon like this, that's normally fine because the special move pool is also really, really deep. Discharge, Focus Blast, Grass Knot. You have Play Rough as physical fairy coverage. You have access to Volt Switch, which is cool. So yeah, there's a lot to like about Zeraora. The worry is you are very one-dimensional as a Pokemon a lot of the time. If you're trying to do these cool support things, you might have to drop coaching and go like Assault Vest and do like Fake Out, Electroweb, Volt Switch, Plasma Fists or whatever. Something similar to that. But there's always there's an option for everyone when it comes to Zeraora, I feel like. We're going to briefly touch on Mew because Mew is an anomaly at best. There's so many things that Mew can do because Mew has always got access to every move that you can learn via TM, TR, or Move Tutor. And you could build Mew into pretty much anything outside of the most craziness stuff. Like, you don't get Fake Out, you don't get Tailwind and all that jazz. But like, having access to a lot of the Move Tutor moves is cool. Having access to pretty much anything like support wise, like Will-O-Wisp, is really, really neat. But the big thing that you can do with Mew is Imprison and Transform. While this takes a turn to set up, this literally will lock an opponent out of all of their moves no matter what, because the Imprison effect will last through the Transform. So if you were, say, like Focus Sash Mew, or just some, like, maybe just a really bulky Mew with base 100 defenses like this, you could probably get away with that. You can click Imprison and then click Transform and just lock Calyrex Shadow out of its moves, or just lock Volcanion, Victini, anything. You can just lock them out of all of their moves. They are forced to either switch out or struggle. And so, just a brief notice there is just like, this is something Mew is going to be able to do. Definitely keep your eye out for it when you're team building. I would treat this closer to like a Shedinja win plan than anything else. It's really, really cool. It's really hard to get off correctly and set up. But when you do, you're almost guaranteed to win a 1v1 situation most of the time. I want to talk about Melmetal next. This Pokemon is probably one of the most accessible mythicals we have, because you can get it through Pokemon Go. Everyone should have gotten one through a Go transfer to home. And it's really, really cool to see Melmetal be able to actually shine, because Melmetal does have a G-Max form. Granted, the G-Max form isn't very good, but it's still there as an option if you're interested in it. However, the big thing is just being able to be like the perfect Pokemon in terms of stat distributions. We have base 135 HP, base 143 attack, base 143 defense, and we don't even have a terrible special defense. Like, base 65 with an Assault Vest is still really good. Like, that is a completely viable moveset to do. Just be this really bulky attacker. Let's play Facade. Ta-da! Like that's Assault Vest Melmetal in a nutshell right there. You can play max attack, play some special defense, probably just enough to where it matters. Play the rest at HP. You're done. Like this thing can do so much work. Um, Fun fact: you can play Brave if you have a 31 IV Melmetal. You underspeed zero IV Calyrex Ice naturally if you're just minus nature. Super duper cool trick there. Melmetal is going to excel under Trick Room. I think it's probably going to be one of the best steel types next to Magearna and Zacian. You'll see a lot of common pairings of Melmetal Zacian or Magearna Melmetal and things like that. Add on to this, again, this is another Pokemon. Mythical coverage is insane. You have access to a lot of good physical moves. You have access to like Rock Tomb, Heavy Slam, High Horsepower, Ice Punch. You're going to want to play double Iron Bash as your physical steel move of choice, I think. Even though Iron Head is base 80, this is essentially doing base 120 because it hits twice no matter what. So it's bop, bop, and 30% chance to make the target flinch. I believe that applies to both hits. So there's a very good chance that you could flinch your target fairly easily. Next up is Victini. I expect Victini to be super duper popular because the ability is really, really good. Like, being able to hit your lower accuracy moves is huge in this game. Taking a lot of the variance out of the format, out of the game is really important. I would expect to see this like on Sun teams with Groudon, Venusaur, whatever. This is another one of these Pokemon that has really cool coverage. Like, there's really good special coverage, really good physical coverage. You have base 100s across the board. There's not a whole lot that Victini can't do for certain teams. Imagine expanding force on psychic terrain, just blowing people up with that. That is insane. You also have a deep support move pool: Helping Hand, Light Screen, Encore. I believe you have access. Yep, Safeguard. I don't think you have Reflect. I think Reflect is the one you don't get. Yeah, you don't get Reflect, but you could also skill swap Victory Star away. You have Shadow Ball. You have physical moves and Brick Break, Blaze Kick. You have special access in Grass Knot, Focus Blast. Wild Charge is a move you can play. U-Turn if you want to play like a Scarf Final Gambit set. That's something you can do. You can play like Final Gambit and then U-Turn just to get out in case you don't want to take damage that turn. Because you're still a base 100 Pokemon. You can get to the point where you outspeed Calyrex Shadow, U-Turn off of it, and get away. You're not outspeeding Regieleki, but almost nothing's outspeeding Regieleki most of the time. I'm going to skip Magearna, and we're going to talk about Volcanion next, because Magearna is probably the number one restricted mythical right now. I think that Magearna is just heads and shoulders above the rest of these Pokemon. But Volcanion's really, really cool. Fire Water is a unique typing. It has going to be the bane of all steel types existences because you get to 4 times resist every steel hit into you ever. You are only weak, I believe, to electric, rock, and ground are the big weaknesses. And rock's not super duper common in this format. I would be more expecting to see ground coverage on Pokemon because ground coverage means you can hit steel types more often. You're neutral to grass. You're going to be neutral to freeze dry because you're still a fire type. Volcanion overall is just a very powerful Pokemon with very cool coverage that's unique to it. You can play these physical sets with like Superpower, Heavy Slam, Earthquake, Bulldoze, Body Press, things like that. I believe you even get, I don't know if you get Iron Defense, but you do get all these steel type moves. So you could play a set where it's Heavy Slam or Flash Cannon Body Press or something like that nature with Assault Vest. And you can do these kind of Body Press, Flash Cannon, Heat Wave, Steam Eruption things, right? This could be super duper cool and niche to what Volcanion's trying to do. You get to boost your already really high defense as it is. Base 120 defense is really good. Boost that with a max steel spike or 2 being an assault vest, and then once you're out of that, you just get to start clicking body press into things. Anything that Flash Cannon, Heat Wave, or Steam Eruption isn't dealing neutral damage to, Body Press should be able to do it too. The other big thing that makes Volcanion great is you're really good into the Weather duo. Water Absorb means you don't have to worry about any of Kyogre's stabs. They can only really hit you with Thunder. And if you're Assault Vest, you don't care. Um, Groudon is kind of a problem because Groudon can hit you super effectively with Precipice Blades or Max Quake, but if you Dynamax in front of it and just meet it head on with your own Max Flares or Steam Eruption, Max Geysers or whatever you need it to do, I'm pretty sure you still win the trade 1v1 versus Groudon, since you can easily calc to outspeed a Groudon pretty easily, I think. Yeah, you can outspeed a Groudon if you put enough speed investment into it. But the main thing I think Volcanion going to be able to do is be these Assault Vest sets, maybe Life Orb, maybe Weakness Policy. I think Weakness Policy is really, really cool. I'm still experimenting with it. A lot of what I've been doing has been like Volcanion and then Zeraora or some other electric type to Volt Switch off of. I've also been doing like Bulldoze with Calyrex Shadow Rider or Landorus. Like Scarf Landorus is a thing I've been playing with too. So there's a lot to like about Volcanion, and there's a lot of potential hidden here. I think what's going to come down to Volcanion being good or bad is how much the Steel types rule the format. And that brings us full circle to Magearna. Magearna's signature ability is Busted. Let's just call it Busted. Whenever another Pokemon faints, it does not say your partner, it does not say your opponents, it's whenever another Pokemon. So anything on the field besides Magearna, if it faints, you go +1 special attack. This gets nuts really, really quickly. I don't know if you understand how fast this can go. Playing this thing next to like Kyogre or Groudon, things that deal really good spread damage, it's gonna it's gonna just snowball the game out of control. Fleur Cannon plays along with this really well because it's kind of just like a fairy Draco Meteor. Fun part is you don't even have to play the signature move. You can just play Dazzling Gleam and be fine. Like +2 Dazzling Gleam is still going to be a real good chunk of damage, whereas Fleur Cannon kind of removes all your boosts. So it kind of depends on how you want to play with Magearna. You have the potential to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have the potential to go to +6 before the game ends, because of the way Pokemon works. You can't go to +7. That and the game would be over in either fashion, right? But being able to go to +6 and use Flare Cannon as effectively will be the balance for the most part. But I really advise just playing Dazzling Gleam. I don't think you get Moonblast as a fairy move. No, but you get Misty Explosion. Okay. That seems incorrect. I don't think you'll ever see this in a support move. You do have really cool support pool. Encore, Electro Web, Trick, Thunder Wave, Imprison, Power Swap, Guard Swap. So there's some cool stuff. This thing is fairly bulky. Base 80 HP and 115 defenses means you're going to be able to take a hit most of the time. But otherwise, Magearna's scary. It's the monster in the room. This is priority subject number 1. You're going to be looking to beat this thing 100% of the time in team building. The other big thing we kind of gloss over, because Soul Heart is just a busted ability. I believe this is one of the only restricted to get mythicals to get access to Trick Room. I think besides Mew, which if Mew's doing the Trick Room thing, you're wasting your Mew because base 100 under Trick Room is not very good. However, base 65 under Trick Room is very, very good. We have been seeing people playing with like Room Service Magearna, because you then just -1 and you get to underspeed Calyrex Ice, and you get to underspeed like Melmetal and things like that. So that could be something you could look into doing later, if you're not worried about your overall damage output. So I would definitely expect like Room Service, Protect, Trick Room, Flash Cannon, Dazzling Gleam to just be like the most common set for this thing. It is such a powerful Pokemon that it doesn't matter what the base power on your moves are. Being at +1 or +2 means you just snowball anyway. And that's all I got this week. I hope this impromptu Series 13 video finds you in excitement more so than fear. I think this format's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's going to be a whole lot of just controlled chaos for probably the first month, and then the second month will be all figured out and solved because there's just going to be so many people throwing so many things at the wall. Will this be our IRL events format? I highly doubt it. I think the mythicals and whatnot are just too hard to get a hold of legitimately for them to safely say, sure, bring your Volcanion Magearna, so on and so forth. Especially since we haven't had real, like, NA give outs for this stuff in a while. Again, do all that fun YouTube stuff for us. Like, comment, subscribe, answer our question of the day down below about your favorite mythical. I know that there's a whole lot going on today, so this is probably going to get buried under all the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet stuff. I should be live later, probably playing Unite and talking the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer. I'm super excited to watch that. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at in the world. We will see you all on Monday for the podcast episode. Bye, everyone.